Ready? I Oh, you don't have that either. Okay. All right, no problem. Let's go.
Knowledge is power.
Go with the both sides theme.
Power 106.
August 4, 1735. Freedom of the press was established with an acquittal of John Peter Zenger. The writer of the New York Weekly Journal had been charged with seditious libel by the royal governor of New York. The jury said the truth is not libelous. The truth is not libelous. They also went on to say, well, in this instance, Murray Gerfin, a jurist, Murray Gerfin says, a cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the even greater values of freedom of expression and the right of the people to know. And what are we getting at? Well, it's a very significant day today. And we're going to be giving you an opportunity to air your views on freedom of the press. It's Press Freedom Day. And so we look forward to your expressions in relation to this subject matter. So just a reminder, or if you want to record it or write it down otherwise, freedom of the press was established on August 4, 1735. Freedom of the press was established with an acquittal of John Peter Zenger. The writer of the New York Weekly Journal had been charged with seditious libel by the royal governor of New York. The jury said the truth is not libelous. The truth is not libelous. And we need to tell the children the truth, as Bob Marley reminds us in one of his recordings. Tell the children the truth. And he repeats that a few times. And the conclusion on that occasion in 1735 was, the truth is not libelous. And the final one where we're repeating is by the jurist Murray Gerfin, Gurfein, who says, a cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the even greater values of freedom of expression and the right of the people to know. We're still in the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the third day of the fifth month of 2024. The American Hospital Association and affiliated American health organizations are marking May as Mental Health Awareness Month, Stroke Awareness Month, Arthritis Awareness Month, Better Hearing and Speech Month, Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month, Global Employee Health and Fitness Month, Healthy Vision Month, Hepatitis Awareness Month, Melanoma Skin Cancer Detection and Prevention Month, Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month, Celiac Disease Awareness Month, High Blood Pressure Education Month, Osteoporosis Awareness and Prevention Month, Lupus Awareness Month, Physical Fitness and Sports Month, Teen Pregnancy Month, and Older Americans Month. The month of May is being observed here in Jamaica as Child Month and National Exporters Month, Lupus Awareness Month, Education Month, and Workers Month. Constitution Day is being celebrated as a national day in Poland. It's World Laughter Day. Fiesta de las Cruces in Peru, that's another observance, also known as La Cruz de Mayo in Venezuela, and Dia de la Santa Cruz, or Holy Cross Day in Mexico. It's Kempo Kinenbi, or Constitution Memorial Day in Japan, observed as well in Australia, where they're also marking Labor Day in Queensland and May Day in the Northern Territory. And as we said at the start, it's World Press Freedom Day. World Press Freedom Day. Hoy es viernes el 3 de mayo 2024 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est vendredi le 3 mai 2024 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutent où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre.
Follow the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development on Instagram and X at localgovja. The time at the ministry is
2:15. Keep Jamaica. Say make we breathe. Keep Jamaica clean. Make you listen to me, please. No plastic, man, no fear blow in the breeze. Proper garbage disposal, recycle plastic, now make it pull up in the streets. Bag it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this up we island. So keep Jamaica, keep Jamaica. Say make we breathe. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both sides of the story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Friday, the 3rd of May, 2024, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. So it's day 3 of Child Month, and a good time to remind ourselves as adults about some of those timeless gems that have been passed on to us that we should never forget to pass on to our children. Labor for learning before you grow old. Learning is better than silver and gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay. Or as Francis Bacon said in The Advancement of Learning in 1605, we see then how far the monuments of wit and learning are more durable than the monuments of power or of the hands. For have not the verses of Homer continued 2,500 years or more without the loss of a syllable or letter, during which time infinite palaces, temples, castles, cities have been decayed and demolished? Another famous quotation, especially suitable for our children: speak the truth and speak it ever, cost you what it will. He who hides the wrong he did does the wrong things still. And how many of us remember the heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. And the standard would be, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Help the weak if you're strong. Help the old if you're young. Keep a guard upon your tongue and own a fault if you're wrong. Yet another, when you have work to do it with a will. If you aim to reach the top, you must climb the hill. Let's pass on the book of rules to our children. Let's help to engender in our children the first talent. The first talent is the willingness to do. The willingness to do. And for those unborn, the naming of our children must not be done in a frivolous way. It must be carefully thought out. As far as the family name is concerned, teach the children the history of their family. That's one sure way of keeping them grounded and helping to sustain that sense of pride. Let's teach our children to engage their brains before they employ the organs of speech. Because like the tongue, as Omar Khayyam told us in Rubaiyat, the moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. In other words, we can't take back our words or our writings, no matter how profusely we apologize. And therefore, we must teach our children to think before they speak and write. We must teach our children about thrift, while at the same time emphasizing that money is only 10% of our problem. Yes, I said it, money is only 10% of our problem. If you are listening to us and you have pen and paper, draw for them a circle with a 10% slice in the form of a right-angled triangle. They must know that the remaining 90% depends on them, their habits, attitudes, work ethic, integrity, honesty, truthfulness, punctuality, trust, commitment, determination, and performance. If they embody these and other wholesome values, they're more likely to succeed. And when they do, money becomes just 10% of their problem. However, if they resort to all the conceivable bad habits, such as poor work ethic, lack of integrity, honesty, truthfulness, trust, commitment, and determination, their performance will be so poor and their workmanship so shoddy that they'll spend the rest of their lives chasing money, in which case money then becomes 90% of their problem. So let us try, as parents, guardians, and adults in general, even as we ourselves try to avoid the traps of life, to insulate and inoculate our children as best as we can from the ills of the society. It's a delicate balancing act because at the same time, we have to give them enough room to grow and develop. Let's expose them, support them, watch them and learn from them as they exhibit their various talents. At some point, their desired talent or talents will shine through. Once we have identified that talent and confirmed with them that that's where they want to go, let's give them all the help and support they need. Our children must also be made aware of the 4 C's and the 4 D's. The first C is for connection. Our young people must be taught to connect the dots. Don't underestimate the value of buying games and puzzles which encourage that kind of approach. It is in connecting the dots they're able to piece together the puzzle of life. The next C is credibility. Without that, we're nothing, and our children must be made to understand this. If we develop a bad reputation, it will follow us to our grave. Our credibility is what determines whether we're able to function effectively in a competitive environment. Our credibility is what determines whether people employ us or want to do business with us. Control is the next C. We must be in control of ourselves. As I like to say, do not allow anyone or anything to control you to the point where you lose control of yourself. Control is critical. If we neglect even one of these three, our lives will be incomplete. We must therefore pay attention to the fourth and final C, completion. Incomplete work is unacceptable. Whatever our task or lot in life, we must see it through to its finality. Too many of us are guilty of starting the race of life and then falling by the wayside, fading away, not finishing the race. Let us not pass on these bad habits to our children. Let us teach them about completion. And then there are the 4 Ds. The first D is for distraction. Our society is full of that, but our children must know that the worst disease any youngster can contract is bad company, and therefore they must be alert. The second D is for deception. People must be able to trust them. If they engage in deception, people will mistrust them and they will not prosper, which means they would be headed for the next D, destruction. Feeling like their world is closing in on them, they then start living problem-plagued lives, which usually end in the fourth D, DEBT or DEATH, and that's final. This was written by me several years ago. It came to me and I wrote it. And I'm sharing it with the children of the world on this, the third day of Child Month. What is your reaction? What are your thoughts? We want to hear from you. We also have some data in relation to press freedom on this World Press Freedom Day. And we're going to come to those in a little while. As we continue with more on your program, both sides of the story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, and we'll say more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Farmers, want to increase the size of your fruits while maximizing your yield? Use Cytoplex. Cytoplex is a natural sea plant extract with cytokinin, auxin, and gibberellic acid that stimulates root development, lateral branching, flowering, and fruit development. Grow bigger roots and fruits with Cytoplex, the #1 root and fruit size enhancer. Cytoplex, distributed by Caribbean Chemicals and available at farm stores island-wide.
The Health, Home and Garden Expo returns to the National Arena on Saturday, May 4 and Sunday, May 5. Come see various booths with products for your home, garden, and more. Come for the health checks and participate in the workshops. Join Power 106 FM for live broadcast from the Expo on Saturday, May 4 at the National Arena, Arthurwin Drive, Kingston from 5 to 8 p.m. This broadcast is brought to you by Freeform Factory Limited, Manpower and Maintenance Services, LockSafe and Vault Limited, Wellington Dental, Barry's Hardware, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, and Margins Pharmacy. That's a live broadcast from the Health, Home and Garden Expo on Saturday, May 4 at the National Arena, Arthurwin Drive, Kingston from 5 to 8 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Sides of the story.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. And we have some data here from the UNESCO Caribbean Office. In commemoration of World Press Freedom Day, celebrated by UNESCO globally on May 3rd, says Dion Anderson, Communication Officer, UNESCO Caribbean Office. I am pleased to share with you the new issue brief and key data on environmental reporting, which will be launched on World Press Freedom Day, which is today. We invite you to reference, let's go straight to the information. So there's a comprehensive collaboration here. Press and Planet in Danger. That's where the world finds Press Freedom Day in 2024. Press and Planet in Danger. Safety of environmental journalists. Trends, challenges, and recommendations. The key trends. At least 749 journalists, groups of journalists, and news media outlets reporting on environmental issues have been attacked in 89 countries between 2009 and 2023 in all regions of the world. Over 300 attacks occurred in the past 5 years, marking a 42% increase from the preceding 5-year period. This surge is attributed to a rise in physical attacks like assaults, arrests, and harassment, and legal actions, including defamation lawsuits and criminal prosecutions. State actors have committed at least half of the 749 attacks. Private actors are responsible for at least a quarter. A total of 44 journalists reporting on environmental issues have been killed in 15 different countries between 2009 and 2023, with only 5 cases resulting in convictions. At least 24 journalists survived murder attempts. Between 2009 and 2023, at least 204 journalists and news outlets covering environmental issues have faced legal attacks. State actors filed criminal charges against 93 of them. 39 journalists have been imprisoned, primarily in Asia and the Pacific. Defamation lawsuits are common, with at least 63 cases, predominantly in Europe and North America. There have been at least 194 journalists attacked at environmental protests in the past 15 years, mainly in Europe, North America, and Latin America and the Caribbean. Police and military forces are the main perpetrators with 89 attacks, while protesters account for 32 attacks. UNESCO and the International Federation of Journalists conducted a survey with 905 respondents from 129 countries. Over 70% reported being subject to attacks, threats, or pressure while covering environmental issues. Men reporters experience all types of attacks more frequently than women, except for digital aggressions. 407 respondents, 45%, said they have practiced self-censorship driven by fears of potential attacks, having their sources exposed to harm, and being aware that their environmental coverage might conflict with the interests of their employers or advertisers. The global environmental crises of climate change, loss of biodiversity, and pollution impact the lives of billions worldwide, and environmental journalism plays a key role in how the world understands this. Reporters and the media who cover environmental issues and its impact not only raise awareness of this information, but it's quite comprehensive. And we could think of no other day on which to share this information than World Press Freedom Day. And we remind ourselves again that August 4, 1735, saw the freedom of the press being established with an acquittal of John Peter Zenger, the writer of the New York Weekly Journal, had been charged with seditious libel by the royal governor of New York. In response, the jury said, "The truth is not libelous. The truth is not libelous." And for his part, Murray Gurfein, Gurfein, the jurist, Murray Gurfein, says a cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the even greater values of freedom of expression and the right of the people to know. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, on this World Press Freedom Day. We're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And let's see what are your thoughts on these matters for those who have been listening. We have a few messages, not sure how many of them are relevant to the areas that are covered, but let's see how it goes. Let's start from the top this time. So someone has sent us a message. Great sayings, Dervan. Good evening. Truth is in plenty factual writings. I endear, or is it endure you meant? I endure will be forevermore. Educated, don't write foolishness, nor chat what is not so. It goes, if my USA can treat Gravy City of Newark, New Jersey, so, and given President Trump treatment by something another, folks, don't read or doubt simple, I know. Jam is not so coherent, but we're trying. Jam and blackout upstanding and well-educated, participative. Hello. If I say so, oh dear, you'll have to help us. It's not as coherent as it could be, but we see you're trying to help us to figure out exactly the information that you want to transmit. But keep working on it. And thank you very much for your message. It's time for a break. Let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. Power 106 FM, the digital sound, and now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can tune in on your mobile phones by dialing 631-359-8281 if you're in the US. And if you're in the UK, you can dial 0330.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Lots of messages to clear. Hello to Huey Rose. He says, greetings. This is Huey from AGA Tours. I'm visiting from London, UK. Welcome home, Huey Rose. All the best to you. Mike Montgomery says, good afternoon, teacher, to you and your listeners. I'm here home watching you live on Facebook. I do not miss the news when listening to you. Keep safe, teacher. Thank you very much. Audrey Smith in Southampton in England says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere, tuning in from a humid Southampton. Good to have you on board. And Peter Gracie says, grand day, Dervan. Lovely. The willingness to do. Loving it. You're welcome, Peter Gracie. And Inez Ayona Campbell says, a pleasant Friday afternoon to everyone. And the same to you, Inez Ayona Campbell. Valerie Weller-Peck says, good afternoon to everyone. Love and blessings to you too, Valerie Weller-Peck. Nicola in Central Jamaica, good afternoon to you too. Welcome. And Carol Boeth is also online. And she says, good afternoon, Brother Dervan, Malcolm, and global listeners. I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday. That earthquake a few days ago left me quite shaken, literally. I was sitting on a chair, braced against the wall, and the force of the tremor felt like a crane had thrown a container against the wall. It was truly alarming. In light of these frequent earthquakes, I can't help but wonder if the Met Service has adequate measures in place to address this recurring issue. It's becoming increasingly concerning. Lord, please continue to protect us during these uncertain times, says Carol Boeth. Natalie Winter says, pleasant afternoon all from Washington Gardens, Kingston, Jamaica. Big up to all journalists on World Journalism, well, it's International or World Press Freedom Day, Natalie. And Carol says, it's disheartening to witness truth taking a backseat in today's world. Lies and deception have become pervasive, making it challenging to navigate daily life as honesty seems to be increasingly rare. And Fayweller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. I'm here listening. Good to have you on board. Thank you so much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Let's hop on over once again to the WhatsApp and text messages and see what we find here. Let's go here and see what we find. To bring up a few more of these messages. Anthony says, good show going forward. Thank you, Anthony. And this one says, good day. Oh, this was for yesterday, for your legal corner. I'm gonna have to put this one up in a safe place and share it for next week's edition of Your Legal Corner. So we might just do that. And Sharon Smith of the Jose Marti Alumni Association New York chapter has shared with us a story looking at the contribution that the Jose Marti Technical High School class of 1984 has made to the school. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of musical instruments that have been donated to the Jose Marti Technical High School. So that's another area we're constantly reminded of the contribution that members of the diaspora make at home and abroad. And so here's another example. Whether it be donating musical instruments, sports gear, educational resources, the members of the diaspora are on it. And we thank them and congratulate them on their work, their service. Wayne Thompson is a robotics engineer. He says, a pleasant good afternoon to you too, Wayne Thompson. Thank you for joining us. Stephen Barnes says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm grateful, proud to be listening to you as a Jamaican. Thanks. You're welcome. Thank you very much for your message and all the very best. In the meantime, we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And let's see. We're standing by as well for a feature on entrepreneurship. And as soon as our guest is ready, we will go ahead. But let's, in the meantime, take this call. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, but I'm listening to you speaking those things of good education to the key, things we learned in primary school and throughout our school life in Jamaica, Homer, Shakespeare, Louis Moore, the things they write laws forevermore, right?
Yes, you sent us the message earlier on in writing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, man, and I'm telling you, Grey versus City of Noah over 20 years. Is the opposite of state versus brothers, state versus Trump, etc. You understand? The Jamaican is the plaintiff, armed with USA, New Jersey own court orders, and NJSA 26 public health license, very powerful last relief injunction, which is a court order.
Oh, that's the document you shared with us a couple of days ago. The one about noise.
It's been years. I give it, send it to Mr. Chuck, to Trevor Monroe, to ULRD, and to Senators USA, Congress, AG of New Jersey, etc., etc. AG of USA, the Jamaican in the civil section appointed by Biden, and people be dumb about it. None of them want to read because judges are not supposed to do wrongs, right? People see Trump, see New York versus Trump, a Democrat judge in a Democrat prison, a former president of the USA, and presidented in what? From 1976 to now is 248 years, right? So you say 234, I say 260 because the planning to gain Republic, USA independence, which they fought for, was started some years before, right? Couldn't have happened instantaneously.
Sounds like you have a lot on your plate. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, but Dervan, I have to tell people, we have 7 O-level at 16 years old. 15 turned 16 in August. Most people have, even with 8 and 9 is when they're 18 to 21, and 70 SE from 13 or third form in Ferncourt. You can read and write like those in that level. You can't stop. No lawyer, no doctor. I do them all. And the things have been through the journey, so it's forever history. One day Jamaica will read. But Gray never give up the fight. When we know we right, those who have been to school, public health school, or meeting and playing with me, they know we stand up. People don't have to tell us to get up, stand up. So we don't ride for wrong. You know what I'm saying?
We hear you.
Yeah, man, and the guy and the grace. We say, no demon make work perform, and just the grace of the living God. One love.
All right. Thank you for the call. Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number. And this one says, scrambling of phone sometimes when writing truth. Truth offends, but crimes are libels. Or I don't know if you meant labels or something else. Not crimes or libel, nor pretty is simple truth. Okay. Thank you for your message. And Let's go back to our document here in just a moment. Let's take the break and come back.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
People looking for truth. We must not fail. Be sure before we close our eyes. Walk away from here till you hear the signs. Here we are all day. What seems to be the center of the storm.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Here's David Crosburn calling through. Good afternoon, Mr. Crosburn. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and all your listeners. Thanks for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Heard you giving out the information to children. I think you should add another one. Each one, teach one.
Mhm.
That was my dad's mantra. Each one to teach one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening 2 days ago and also yesterday when speaking about the education and so on and so forth. A key thing, I think, speaking as a grandfather, I think we should put some safeguards around how the curriculum is changed. Meaning, we should not just allow the curriculum to be changed without thorough consultation and a proper, let everybody be on the same page. And why I say this? Why do I say this? I saw my granddaughter at one is at 5 and 6. And they work, that both of them, is a much higher grade work. So they do not have the basic foundation that they should have. I'll give one example, put it this way. You should first teach them about myself, then my district, my school, my community, then we move to the Caribbean and then to the world. But it's not so now. They're learning about Asia and other areas of the world before they learn about the Caribbean, before they learn about the parish in Jamaica and so on and so forth. So I think
But isn't that the nature of teaching? Isn't it? Isn't flexibility the nature of teaching? Being able to pivot?
Not without the groundation. Not without the groundation, Dervan. It affects them. And it's affects them. I show you why I say that. One of my daughters come to me and ask me, should we go to top prep school here? And she was tossed between moving her abroad or staying here. And when we go through what is happening, we decided to move her abroad without any prejudice. Because even the books and the amount of books the baby is packed up with, it's too much for them. And it's impacting on them, in my view, my personal view. And I believe in books. I know that education, and I had to work hard. For my 5 daughters has all have been fully educated and so on. But I'm saying, be missing the mark. I put my situation aside. I've never down in St. Elizabeth, and he has interest in being a chef. And he did very well in his 60 and was hoping to chef along with plumbing. And there's no one economics teacher at his school. So these are the sort of deficiency that our children are being faced with. And I think I listen to the teacher and to the educator. And I think there are things in our hand that we can work at and collaborate around to move forward. What are your thoughts on that?
Leadership would be a key element in that setting, in that scenario. It's always necessary. Without it, things tend to be fragmented and people sometimes and so on.
You couldn't say that better. And I think this, you are the one to me. If we spend even 1 year, 2 years and sign off on certain things and then move forward, because one march into the roll of the drum, it would be a different Jamaica, and we have it in our hands, but I don't see us marching together. And for what reason or another, I don't know why we are not on the same page, on the same accord, and move forward.
Some of us like to be in our silos, or each of us as individuals in our own silo, and we're not really caring about what's happening next door or wherever else.
You couldn't classify it any better. And I think, though, I don't know how we're going to come together as a people. And even the situation with the sanitation that everybody is screaming about. Our city should be well sanitized, and it's not difficult. We have the knowledge, we have the inputs. I just has to come together and say, I guarantee if we clean up our cities and let them clean, you're surprised to see how the crime will change and the world thinking. Each one of our communities, they say it's about what, 7,000 communities in Jamaica.
No, not 1,000. 7. It's about 773 or something along those lines.
Yes, 773 communities. And I think if each community is their storyboard, they have, if you know some of the persons that coming out of these communities, you tremble and the contribution that they have made. But yet the people in the community is unaware of the accomplishment of those communities. We should find some way to bring it across to them and let them be aware and let us move together. And then go back to the point I was making with you some time ago about my eldest granddaughter. And you can have a look in your own time. Look at it. I invite you please to look at it. It's the Greenwood High School in Kentucky. It's in Warren County, Kentucky, right? 283 students graduated. It's on, you can Google it, it's on WhatsApp. 283 graduated last year. And at the graduation, everyone, all 283 students, they know exactly what is their next step forward. And every one of them who is not going into the military, who is not going to be seeking employment, and who is going to further studies. And only yesterday I heard from her, she communicated with me. She has completed her first year at university already from her graduation just a couple of years back, and going forward now into her second year at university. So why I put the Kentucky model on the table is that it's a state that I admire immensely. I've gone to a lot of states in the US, but I think there's a lot for Jamaica to learn and could benefit from the experience of Kentucky. And they have a lot of things that for example, I was telling, I think it's Simon the other day about sugar estate up in Clarendon, Cape Valley Sugar Estate, that the chimney fell down. A similar thing, not a chimney, but a sinkhole broke out at a building place in Kentucky at the Corvette motor place, and they turned it into a museum. The University of Kentucky adjoined with the Corvette Museum, and they tell the whole story, and it's a big income generating from that incident. You go there, you can see how the stone fell down into the sinkhole, what they were able to take out, and they give you a full story of it, and everybody in the area, because it's an area that I think has a lot of similarities with our whole Upper Clarendon and St. Catherine area of Jamaica. They are similar in soil construction and so on. And I think we can benefit tremendously. And I'd like to put something forward that we have a look at them and embrace something from them. All of our best, and continue to be strong, and to your listeners. And as often said, it's a very powerful job you are doing, and my blessings on you, and that we continue to come together as a people. Thank you.
Thank you too. All the best. Take care.
All of our best.
Bye bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. There's more after the break.
listen to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Work is a real good.
Jamaican pork, always a healthy choice. The tastier protein choice. A message from the Jamaican Association.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We like to say, one of the legs we stand on. We stand on four. One of them has to do with entrepreneurship. As we always say, to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. And this afternoon, we want to check in with one of our young entrepreneurs, and she prefers to be called Nikki Spice because her brand is Nikki's Spices, and we're going to hear from her now how her her small business is going. Hello, good afternoon, Nikki. How are you?
Mr. Malcolm, I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I am doing well, thanks. Thank you very much for joining us here on this afternoon's edition of Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We are happy to have you join us, and we are curious to find out how things are going with your enterprise.
It's slow, but it's going.
Slow, but it's going. Well, that's not so bad. At least there's a level of constancy there.
Exactly.
Mhm. Can you spell out for us the various items that you have?
Okay. I have pigmental leaf
Mm-hmm.
and pepper elder leaf and the all-purpose seasoning of natural, like seasoning blend.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my cucumber.
So,
and I'm introducing now a pepper sauce.
how do you decide which products to create or to add?
Okay. Sometimes things will come to you will lie down and things come to you,
Mm-hmm.
when you're thinking or when I'm alone and things will come to me and I will just go to my kitchen and start to, if I have the ingredients, start to prepare the product. Then I'll ask my family and friends to sample.
Mm-hmm. So give us an idea of the range that you call some product names a short while ago, but generally in terms of explaining as well some of the benefits of consuming and using these products to enhance your cooking.
Right. Okay. Even my pepper elder,
Mhm.
it's good. It can help with blood pressure as well, and it's good for your stomach. Acid reflux.
What was it? What is it called? Pepper elder.
Yeah, pepper elder. ELDER.
Okay.
Right.
And what is
So
that good for?
acid reflux.
Hmm.
Right, and it can also help with high blood pressure,
Hmm.
and it really brings your food to life.
Yes.
Has a nice flavor.
Mhm. And which of the items you have, which is the fastest mover? That as
My tambourine, my
oh,
stew tambourine.
and how is that used? Is it just to taste that sugar and tamarind, or is it more than
Ginger,
that?
yes, it has ginger, sugar, right,
Mhm.
and but you can eat by itself. You can
Mhm.
have it on crackers or bread, and in your sauces,
They can use it like a jam.
right, and you can have it in your sauce.
Mhm.
Like you can have it in your like in your gravy or whatever.
Yes.
Right, it's great on pork.
Oh,
It's very nice. And
what
lasagna as well.
was that? Say that again as well.
Nice in the lasagna as well.
Oh, lasagna. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. And do you uh, do you do you operate from a particular outlet, or do you have a setup where you have items delivered to the customers and potential customers?
Right. I just deliver to my customers right now.
Mhm.
They will come to me or I meet them partway,
Mhm.
and that's about it.
Okay.
Right. Because it's
Mhm.
not in the stores yet.
Mhm.
Because I'm still working from my kitchen.
Yes. And the rains haven't necessarily been impacting your capacity to keep working.
Sometimes it does, but right now I'm just working on tambourine, so it's fine.
Okay. And what can you tell us with respect to the pricing of your products and the extent to which the clients uh, appreciate the products?
Okay. The pricing is like I have a big 1 ounce pepper elder and pimento,
Mhm.
and I have a small package like 7 ounces. That's at $300.
Mhm.
And that's a quarter of the big one. And I
Okay.
have my two tambourines. I have a 10 ounce, and that's a 1500. And there is a 4 ounce for 600.
And
And then my all-purpose seasoning is for
mhm.
$1,500.
So do you believe you are competitive enough at this stage in terms of prices?
Yeah, I think so because my products are natural. I don't wash it on my products, and
Mhm.
they taste really great. So when people purchase my products, I really never have any complaints about the price or anything.
Mhm. And
And
how?
it's a lot of work.
Yes. Where do, in general terms, where do most of your customers come from?
New York and
New
New
York
Jersey,
and New Jersey.
yeah, and England as well.
Okay. UK.
Right. So
You
when they're coming to Jamaica, they will call me and
Mhm.
order before they get here.
So when you get here, you pick up.
Right.
Mhm. And that's been happening for how long now? A few years.
Yeah, a few years, probably
Mhm.
around 4 or 5 years now.
Mhm. And what about the price for the added ingredients that you use with the for the products? I mean, uh, how are you able to manage those prices so that your product or products don't become a little too pricey?
Oh, JBDC is the one that helped me with my pricing
And that's the Jamaica Business Development
corporation.
Corporation. Mhm.
Right.
So you get good support from them.
Excellent support from them.
Mhm. That's great news.
Excellent support. Because they help you to bring your product to another level.
Hmm.
And they don't settle for nothing but the best.
That's right.
Right. And the Bureau of Standards, because I have an officer of the Bureau of Standards.
Oh, no, this
Yeah.
is very serious.
Yes, three
Mhm.
officers there, one from CEDC, one from SDC, and one from Bureau of Standards.
Mhm. And is is this the kind of vocation that you looked forward to as a youngster growing up? Is this what you wanted to do?
No, growing up, I didn't want to do this at all. Growing up, I wanted to become an accountant, and then,
You still can.
right, and then I wanted to become a cosmetologist, and I did that at art,
Okay.
and I realized that the field is a little slow, and then my passion now, I love food, and I like nice, tasty food,
Mhm.
and I like natural things.
Yes, I see.
So I decided, I'd start making these products, and then everybody go taste them. Said, I think you should sell them.
Mhm.
And
And how about the packaging? How is that in terms of being able to get, in the case of containers,
okay,
bottles, etc.?
but I get some of my jars from Top March International. That's on Balmoral Avenue,
Yes.
right? And I just went some packaging out. I purchased some Ziploc
Mhm.
bags, and then I get my tote bags from Amazon.
Oh, you're doing business with Amazon as well?
No, I don't, but I
Oh,
purchased, yeah,
okay.
things from Amazon.
Mhm. And so, what's your outlook? Uh,
Oh, my future look bright. So it's one thing, I need my factory space, and that is what keeping me back.
oh,
Right,
it's taking a little while.
right.
Mhm. So,
As I say with JBDC, they did the labels as well. So my labels are beautiful, and those are the first things that grab people,
yes.
the customers, my packaging,
Mhm.
and then after they taste the product, they truly love it.
Very good. And I take it that you have lots of repeat customers.
Yes,
Mhm.
so it's mostly for people who want like healthy things,
Mhm.
right? Who love healthy things. And the pimento is also great. And it's the number one spice in the world,
Oh, pimento.
right? Pimento. And the leaf is actually more powerful than the berries.
What?
Yes, it flavor your food good. As I said, it bring your food to life.
Mhm. I see. And I would imagine you have learned a lot in terms of the contents and the kind of preparation that goes into this particular food industry.
Right, and especially, whatever you do, you should really love what you do, and you put all the passion and everything in it.
Yeah. How can you be reached? For those who'd like to check out your products, what do you suggest?
Okay, my number is 876-770-9038.
All right, let's have you repeat it just for the record.
Okay, 876 770 9038.
876-770-9038.
9038. Correct.
So, listeners, that's a good number if you are wanting to patronize uh, a Jamaican entrepreneur who is getting started, and well, she has started and is making the most of what she has at this stage. And we're happy to be able to provide this platform.
Okay. Mr. Malcolm,
Yes.
they do send us a lot of training from time to time.
Okay.
Archers training with Archers, entrepreneur training, and in April I just did a training at UE.
All right. Hold the line there. Sounds like you have a little more information that you'd like to share. One moment, please.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:31 on Power 106.
It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. It's onestopmedia.com. Watch your favorite local program or listen to your favorite radio station from anywhere in the world on your tablet, smartphone, or personal computer. Download the app now and keep up to date with your favorite local programs on TVJ. Check us out at onestopmedia.com. Follow us on Instagram, facebook.com/onestopmedia, and subscribe now. OneSpotMedia.com.
It waits in the darkness with a weapon to cut some stranger down. Sleeping with an empty bottle is a sad and an empty-hearted man. What he needs is a job and a little respect, so he can get out while he can. We always need to hear both sides of the story.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Our guest is a young entrepreneur. We affectionately refer to her as Nikki Spice. She does have a brand which is called Nikki's Spice or Spices. Not looking at it right now. But she is one of those young entrepreneurs that we like to feature in terms of hearing from her, not necessarily on air all the time, but every now and then off air. We check in and just make sure that everything is going according to plan, and we continue to support entrepreneurs. That's one area I'm surprised that more people don't take up the opportunity when it comes to the entrepreneurial side, because when introducing the program, we talk about empowering, encouraging, and supporting our entrepreneurs and providing a platform to help them to get the word out there. But very few, if any, are compelled or feel compelled to give us a call to say, I heard the program and I hear what is possible, and I would like to have an opportunity to feature this little product that I created from so and so and so. So we would like to encourage more of our entrepreneurs to take advantage of the publicity. It does make a difference for you and yours. You'd be surprised. Don't take it for granted. So we thank you very much, Nikki, for staying with us. You are going on to share with us information on training and related matters in support of young entrepreneurs like yourself.
Right. Okay. They will send us on training from time to time. Even my officer at Bureau of Standards, she will train me to tell you about the standards,
Yes.
and SDC will train you like marketing. They teach you all these things. JBDC, they teach you as well. And I have my food technologist. And I have
Was
my
that a certificate?
pardon?
You're talking about a certificate
No, this is
for
not a certificate.
okay.
No, but I have a food technologist from JBDC that's work with me.
Mm-hmm.
So they guide you on the right path,
Yes.
the right jars, the right container, everything,
Yes.
and exactly what to do.
So you get a lot of guidance.
Yes, a lot. And I always say to them, it's always room for improvement. Because
Mhm.
it's real business here.
Yes.
And then they will send me on training. So I went on training to get a grant from Archer. And I got my Vitamix.
That's a product that you had anything to do with?
No, it's a machine that I need to blend my spices.
Oh.
Right. And it's very expensive. Like 100,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you go to Archer, you did the training, and if you pass, then you get the grant. So I did, and I got the grant.
Congratulations.
Right, and then you had a training last month, and they invited me to come to the training, and I did, and I got the certificate at the end of the training.
Well done.
Right, so it's real business
Yes, indeed.
over here. And JVDC tell me how to do the books. So I have many books. I have one for my expense, one for my sales, one for my pimento, one for my pepper elder, because you have to date when you make your batch and so forth.
Yes.
So it's real business over here.
Yes. Sounds like you have your hands full as well.
Yeah. When tax time comes, you have to have it so you can go file your taxes.
Yes.
And what I want to say to people who are doing small business, don't shy away from going register your business. Because they don't want to pay tax, but trust me, at the end of the day, when you do the right thing and you can take your business to another level, you feel good.
Yes. You have a peace of mind.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't go anywhere if you just stop one place.
Yes. Yeah, you have to grow
Right.
in the
Just
business.
take your baby steps and you'll get to where you want to go.
Yes. Yeah. And what about those who operate within your space, wherever that is, whether in the community, in the home, etc.? How do they respond to you? How do they regard you?
What I really do, I try to work when they got to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to work around them.
Okay.
Right. When the traffic is right, then that's the time I put in my work.
Mm-hmm. And the work continues.
Right, the work continues because at night now, if I have my receipts and books to write up, then that's the time I can go.
Mm-hmm. I see. And you are pretty much going to continue with the spices as opposed to...
Definitely.
Okay.
Because as I said to you, they bring your food to life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you have it covered, and we wish you well in your endeavors and trust that you will enjoy success as you continue along your journey. Well done. Well done to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure. All right. So listeners, once again, if you need to get in touch with Nikki Spice, 876-770-9038. 876-770-9038. And for other entrepreneurs out there, you have an opportunity as well to be able to get the word out there with respect to your brands. So we look forward to that. But in the meantime, thanks a lot, Nikki. All the very best.
Thank you, Mr. Malcolm.
You're
Have a good
welcome.
weekend.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Take care. You're welcome. Bye. Let's clear some more messages, some comments coming in. Norman Hines, good afternoon to you. Cherry Henry, good afternoon to you too. Oh, can we get a little, let me see. Saw a message a while ago, someone saying, I'm not hearing the radio station 2 days now, Power 106. We're sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that you're not hearing us, or you haven't been hearing us over the last couple of days. Sorry to hear that. We'll check our friends in engineering and see what's happening there. But thanks for bringing that to our attention, Cherry Henry. All right, here are some other messages that have come in. Arlene Clark says, good day, Dervan. I did not get the last D in your 4 Ds. Please let me know. Thanks. The last D is either DEBT or DEATH. That's the last D. DEBT, depending on your circumstances. DEBT / DEATH. So I hope you got it this time, Arlene. Just one of the realities of life. One of the realities of life. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. With the backtrack of the 23-24 budget, the removal of GCT on all raw materials from imports, the high pay rise parliamentarians gave to themselves, the shortfall in revenue collection, they all look and smell the same. How could anyone trust these people to manage the affairs of Jamaica? This is gross incompetence on those who we entrusted to govern Jamaica. This is what dereliction of duty looks like, says Cuban in Georgia. Thanks for your message, Cuban in Georgia. This one says, hi, Mr. Dervan. Love that piece that you wrote and shared. Really thought-provoking and inspiring. May I have a copy? Would like to share it with my young people. Thanks for your contribution to society. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you for your role in this society of ours. And we'll see how quickly we can get a copy of my musings. And we're going to make a note of your message. Let's just make sure we have it. All right, this is not allowing me to access. So what we will do is to go to the document. Yeah, it's really a lot. You should see it. The writing. We don't want to forget. We want to make sure we can get it to you. And we want to do that right away after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Don't miss out on the thrill of the Jamaica Athletics Invitational. Catch all the action live on One Spot Media pay-per-view on May 11th for just US $8.99. Featuring top athletes like Hansa Parchment, Marie Talu, Megan Tapper, and more. Simply log into One Spot Media, select the pay-per-view tab, and buy your ticket. Can't be at home? No worries. Download the One Spot Media app and watch on the go. Get ready to witness the best in athletics.
White man turns the corner, finds himself within a different world. Ghetto kid grabs his shoulder, throws him up against the wall. He says, would you respect me if I didn't have this scar? 'Cause without it, I don't get it. And that's why I carry on. We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Let's share some more messages with you, some of the comments as well that have come in. The person who is asking, just send us a WhatsApp message now, please. The person who wants a copy of my musings, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. That's the WhatsApp number. You can send me the message and we'll make sure we get you a copy. Let's see now. Neville, otherwise known as Salah, says, blessings to you, Dervan. Dervan, I was listening to Mrs. Emily Shields. Oh, here we go now. Usually when we get to this stage, we have to back up a bit because it's not the proper thing to do, to take issues